All right, let's get settled in here on this Tuesday, February 11th, 2025. Tech Talk Tuesday, that is. We are multi streaming. We are also broadcasting live on Metaverse Radio, and we are on a X space right now. So I'm just getting things settled up. I normally don't want to share out the link, but I will because this is quite a topic that I'm really curious to hear what other people our thoughts are. So I'm just going to just share out the link on X. If you don't mind, just hang on a sec. Share via what? Invite via DM. Sure, why not? I'm going to do there and pop and over here. And I think that's it. I don't want to share too much. I don't like sharing. I don't like sharing my food either. Okay, so what a topic. Before we get started, I will say that this program's content does not necessarily represent the views of Metaverse Radio and is for entertainment only, is not legal, medical, financial, or investment advice. The host, guest speakers, artists, and other collaborators may have personal or financial interests in the subjects they discuss. So please critically assess the information presented. Not all content is appropriate for all ages. Listener discretion is advised. All right, now that we got that out of the way, I do want to do a shout out to Fred and the Chi Town team, the Metaverse Radio team, for allowing people like me and Hexadize and the Durbid One and Rallo District to be able to have these broadcasts and to share it with the Metaverse world and the other streaming platforms that they are partnered with. All right. Okay. So today's topic, I'm going to be transparent here. I really didn't want to have to host. I didn't want to be online today. I really didn't. There are one, two, three. There were about three. There are 4 days of the year where I kind of like don't want to be digital and I want to kind of like be off grid. And this is one of them. And I don't, well, here I am, I'm online. So I really couldn't sleep last night. And I was thinking, you know what? I'm just not going to show up. Nobody's going to know. They're too busy. Nobody's going to expect a TED Talk Tuesday. And if they do and they don't see one, then they're like, oh, well, let's just carry on with the day. But then I woke up. I think I woke up around 2:38, which is the time I posted the Tech Talk Tuesday link. And for some reason I woke up and the first thing that came to my mind was existentialism. And I'm like, all right, let's go there. So I got out my phone, took it off Wi-Fi mode, and I Googled existentialism. Of course, I know what that means, but I just did. And then it occurred to me that there has been this gnawing feeling that I have had ever since we went digital, ever since the internet came about. I've always had this gnawing feeling inside me of existence. Now, there's going to be some trigger warnings to this. I will be sharing some stuff, so there will be trigger warnings a little bit. However, I do want to preface that this discussion that I am going to have or I'm going to share is from a human-based perspective. All right. I am a very spiritual person and I have my own thoughts on my existence and what death means. To me, death is just another form of existing. But this topic here is specifically I'm going to enter, which I am. I'm going to operate from my human physical body form. And this is the perspective of which I am going to be discussing topics of. So, yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I mean, I'm grateful for technology. I am grateful for things like MySpace, and there was even Orkut. There was like so many platforms, and then here I am on X, and I get to meet so many people who I have not met in RL, who I have just grown respect for. People like K-Bot, MetaMike, Josh Garrett, Cirrus, Ira, Rick the Ruler. There's also people I have met in RL, which I'm very grateful for, that I have grown more respect and attachment to, which is Vanessa, Hexadize, Tech Mental, and so many others. However, I don't know about you guys, but I have friends. I mean, I don't just have you guys as friends, but I miss my RL friends. I miss Patrick Moniz, who I've known since junior kindergarten. I miss Roger Pinnock, Dina Pantaleo, Neil Cesario, Mary Tess. I miss that whole Francis Lieberman crew that I went to high school with. And then we grew up as adults and we saw each other get married and all that stuff. I miss my guys that I hung out with. That they used to call me Max, you know. A shout out to Raph and Eddie and Arnold and Sonny and oh my God, like a lot. I miss that. And they're not like you guys. They're not online. And if they are, they maybe post stuff on Instagram. If they are, they maybe post stuff on Facebook, but they're really not on Facebook. So the point of this whole the digital self redefining existence in the virtual age, I want to know, like, I remember I was following someone in like when Twitter started, and you know he was like a tech personality. He actually co-authored a book with other tech personalities, and I really enjoyed his perspective on technology and life and whatnot. And then he died. He lived out of New York, and then he passed away. And he had a huge following. This was like, I think in the, I don't know, like 2012, 2011, something, no, maybe 2013, 2012, something like that. And when he passed away, it made me think, wow, I will no longer see his posts from his Twitter account. And other people had passed that I had been following. And I was like thinking, oh my God, I would never see, like they would never greet the Twitter sphere anymore. And even prior to that, even prior to in the early 2000s, when I started blogging and I met people in the 20.uk.co, whatever blog, we really got close. We never met each other in RL. I still have not met anyone. Have I? No, in RL. And, you know, we really got close as a blogging community. And then I questioned the fact that what if one of us were to no longer be around anymore? How would we know? And I posted that blog post and everybody started answering. And this was like what, 2003? And it's like how would we know? And I'm still asking that question now. You know this. If you have a Facebook account and your family or friends or whatnot have a Facebook account, when they pass away, somebody would either get a hold of their Facebook account and they would post from their Facebook account. And then a lot of people, even today, a lot of people would go to these people's Facebook accounts who no longer exist in human form and say, hey, hi, just thinking of you, I miss you and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, you know, that's okay. I remember, shout out to my dear friend and digital brother, Bernard or Bernie. He's out in Chi-Town. I've never met him, but we were really close in this blogging community, and we're still like kind of like in touch through Instagram and Facebook. And I remember when his mom passed away, it was really hard. It was devastating for him. And I was his mom's friend on Facebook, and I would see him post daily, and his sister, you know, all the like his pain of missing his mom. And then I was thinking, well, there's got to be, like, what about all this digital content we put out there, right? Like we put out our blog posts, we do YouTube videos or whatnot. We're on Vimeo where we create music, we create like digital art. Like, what of that? And more so now, since I am in this community that's creating like virtual worlds and spatial, they're creating augmented reality experiences on different platforms. They are creating AI avatars. And if you, for sure, if you are creating an AI agent or AI chat for a business or for, you know, or for a task, for sure, by the end of 2025, if not in 3 years, we should and we will all have a digital representation of ourselves in the form of like AI avatars. And then it makes me like, I see Josh Garrett down there. He's an OG of Second Life. Second Life is a 3D virtual platform, you know, launched in 2003. Linden Labs, Philip Rosdell, yada yada yada. And I know that, and Stilo has created a lot of things in spatial. I'm not sure which other platforms he's in. He's also created, you know, he also has an avatar in Second Life. And I remember when I joined Second Life and I connected to these avatars with people behind them. I actually met two of my close avatar people in Second Life, only to find out that the female that I was hanging out with was actually a guy. And he also lived in Houston at the time I was living. It was like hilarious. It was hilarious. But it's things like that. And I see artists here. So I see LM Designs, I see KBot, Era, Tech Mental, Vanessa. What of their art? I know Tech Mental has been around for so long in the pixel space, and he has been pushing pixels, whether it's music, whether it's digital art. Like, what I'm saying is, oh my God, I better not fucking cry. But fuck, I think I will. So I'm telling you, this is the human perspective, okay? Like the human flesh form. I'm just like, when I think of Josh Garrett, I have never met him, but I know that his feed is I'm pretty sure he's quite the developer. And I know just by hearing and seeing people giving like flowers to him behind in the DMs, how much he's helped them. And I know he's got another side to him that I would love to connect to. But I've never met him in RL. But his essence, the digital essence that I get for him from his post, mind you, I want to do a shout out to Stilo for for interviewing Josh Garrett in his podcast. Now, Stilo, why haven't you continued that podcast? I really enjoyed that. You need to continue that podcast, Stilo. Thank you so much for getting Josh Garrett to be one of the guests so that we get to hear him and see his voice in action. But I don't, I, it basically, I may never have seen you or known you, but you do definitely leave a digital imprint or a digital essence. And I'm kind of like, that's kind of like one I want to touch on, like the existence part in the digital realm. Like, if I would have never to met Tech Mental in Miami, and I would only see him through his art, through his guys. He's not just about digital art or music. This guy writes, man. I mean, sorry, Tech, but he has shared with me. Oh my God, a few of his writings in the past, and they are just. I mean, he is a writer. He is an artist in all aspects. I'm not saying that, but that Vanessa doesn't write. I'm pretty sure Josh writes. I'm pretty sure he's a writer. But when people share their parts of themselves that they've used platforms to express themselves, you get that kind of like that essence of a person. Maybe not all, but some. Just like with Era, like, I've never met Era, but I see the stuff that she creates. I know that things of her nature that she creates are extensions of herself. She might not be going around walking in RL in these like hot, cyber, what is it, like cyber funk costumes. I don't know, maybe she does, but you got it. Like, I would think that that's some type of essence of herself, and the what's it called, the platforms that she creates. Definitely very divine feminine. She's got this very, I know Josh would agree. She's got this very, I know she must have an attachment to the Egyptian times and that type of divine feminine from there. And then there's Altered. So I'm talking a lot, but this is quite a deep thing. And I don't know, guys, but I miss the RL part. Like, the other day, I was following Creative Owls of Webby Social, and I just see Creative Owls. I see Creative Owl. I hear Creative Owls, and I see him when he hosts podcasts like Building the Future on Fridays. And I don't know anything about him other than he's got this amazing voice. I refer to him as hashtag the voice. And the other day, what's today, Monday? Oh no, shit, it's Tuesday. The other day he posted something about I think he posted, must be his living room, and he was with his child. And somebody, I don't know, but I'm like, oh my God, like, I didn't even know he was married. I didn't know he had children. And wow, what an amazing living room, right? I know Hexadize has a family. I haven't met his kids. I've met his wife. Shout out to Lisa, Hexy mom. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful woman. And you guys have families. I know Vanessa has a family. I met her other half Lars, shout out to Lars. I met two of her children. I have a family, but I don't have anybody near me. Like I am here in the middle of Canada, and if something happens to me, that's it. Like I have friends, but I don't have like friends that will have my back. I'm sure I'm sure friends I have a handful of friends here that will have my back, but it's not the same. Like what happens if I go tomorrow? Guys, this is not a sad thing, okay? We're all going to die, so shut the fuck up. You know, like we got to like come, and plus I was a nurse and I was very, every time somebody came into the hospital, you had to always ask them, do they have a living will? You had to give them a do not resuscitate form. Like we had to know what is going on when your loved one is in the hospital. Do you have all these things prepared? So please, this is not a sad thing. We're all gonna fucking die. We pay taxes and we die. Some of us pay taxes anyway. I'm just saying. So this is not a sad thing. This is fact. Okay, so we got to deal with it. I mean, we don't have to, but like it is what it is. I'm just saying, I was thinking about this. So when I saw Creative Owl with his child, and I was like, wow, he has a family, he has this. And I'm thinking, what about me? I have a dog and I have my plants and I have whole lot of tech gadgets. But I'm like, what happens if I don't wake up? Let's say next week I don't like, I'm not sad. This is not a sad thing, my God. This is just a fact thing. Like what happens if, well, you guys know that if I don't show up for Tech Talk Tuesday, you don't see me online, will you know that something happened to me? Who's gonna tell who, like, because I'm here in the middle of the city. So that makes me think that I gotta freaking move. I gotta move back to Toronto to where my family is. So if something happens to me, like they can come into my apartment. I don't want random strangers like getting these tech gadgets that I invested in. I want somebody in my family to get them. I don't want my little cute Kiki dog to be like taken away. I want somebody in my family to hold her. That's what I'm saying. Man, I think I'm going off the wrong tangent here, but yeah. Wait a minute. The digital self redefining existence in the virtual age. Okay, right. So let's say 100 years from now or 1,000 years from now, whatever, people come and then they look at our civilization and they take a snapshot at a moment in time about like what was Earth all about? Who were the inhabitants of Earth? Let's take art for instance. You see like art in the walls, like the primitive people, like I don't know what to call them, Neanderthal, whatever, right? The original humans. I don't know. You would see carvings in the wall. That's art. Then you would see like, okay, I'm gonna like mess up my history of mankind, so forgive me. But you'll see like the Chinese Ming Dynasty art, Egyptian art, whatever. And then you come into the Italian art, like the Byzantine area, where they literally created and they sculpted like human form, like the statue of David, and then all these naked voluptuous women, and then you get to like the Andy Warhol, the Salvador Dali, the Picasso, where Picasso totally distorted the human form, and Salvador Dali was like out of his mind, and that's why I love the guy. And then you get to the pixelated art, right? Let's talk about music. You get to like the drum beat music of indigenous people, whatever they do. I don't know. Then you get to the flute, the wind things, wind things, and then you get to like music like of of Bach and Beethoven and Tchaikovsky and all that, and the beauty and the harmonics, right? And then you get to the and that whole like what that whole Hertz thing, that whole conspiracy theory about tuning something to 4, I can't even remember that Hertz thing anymore. And then you get to EDM and you get to dubstep. Like, so you're seeing where I'm going. We have this transition of mankind where you can kind of like see how we have evolved, like in our art, in our music, and I guess in how we represent ourselves as a humanoid form. So now we have this ability, and now robots are going to populate our. We're going to be like living with like metal, graphene, I don't know, like robots now. So if I were 1,000 years from now, if somebody were to do a snapshot of what Earth is like, wow. I'm just saying, wow. So at the very end of it, let's say the digital age, which we've been in for like 30 years already, and now we're coming into the AI with artificial intelligence and robots and all this stuff. And if that is the last snapshot, what do we want? what do we what do we want to leave behind? Like Vanessa, like I'll see Ira's work on spatial and other platforms. I'll see Vanessa's experiences in other platforms. I'll see the Derby ones, Singao City, and meet with Maven the AI, and I would meet what's her name, Verdana, and I would meet Victor. Like these are AI agents of the Derby one, Vanessa, and Tech Mental in that order. Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay, I'm talking too much. Somebody please. Um, oh, I see Rex Gatling. Like, are we gonna see all of Rex Gatling's experience, all of Rex Gatling's games and stuff like that, and all of Meta Mike's? I'm talking about. Somebody like, come on, say. I'm gonna just. I'm throwing mics at people, man. You better catch them. I'm throwing mics. I know you guys have stuff to say. I know you do. I know you do. Please say it. This is not a morbid space. This is just, it's my day. I get to say, I want to share, I want to like bring this topic up. It's not just about tech and XR and stuff like that. It's about us. It's about us as human beings and how we move forward, right? I love this. I love this. I have Ira and K-Bot. Let's go for ladies first. Hi, Ira.
Hey, Carmen. Happy birthday.
Oh, damn.
Happy birthday, dear. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I hear you. Thank you very much.
I'm happy to hear you, and I'm happy that you came today, no matter what. And I'm happy that you're sharing with us. And I see so many great people here in this room. And so I wish you a beautiful day today. And yeah, it's okay to go deep. It's okay to go and kind of be sad and analyze things. It's great. I love this. But I don't like to be stuck there for too long, for sure. Um, it's like chocolate for me, like indulgence, into your own like little thoughts, and then you have to get out of it and clear them for sure. But yeah, what can I contribute here?
A lot. Have you ever thought of that? Like especially in the digital age, like I don't know. Like what's gonna happen to your accounts? What will happen to the experience you created? Will people still be visiting them? Will spatial servers still be up for people to visit your spaces? Things like that.
Yes and no. I have a great story. It's about my friend. I used to live in New York. I'm a New Yorker, and I used to be in Manhattan and party all the time. And I had a friend. She's younger than me. She's like maybe 6 years younger, and she's a beautiful girl, Russian. Came to also America from Russia, from Moscow, and worked really, really hard on her on her brand. She actually she was also studying in Parsons School, and like really, really hard working, really hard studying girl. Um, a lot went through. Like every time I would see her, I would think like, okay, she's studying, she's learning something, and you know. I love her. She helped me. So we have like a deep connection. She actually dated Jim Carrey, Anastasia Vitkina. So then, I was watching her over years, like maybe 5, 6 years of hard work. And she built like a beautiful Instagram account. She was doing all of these beautiful, bags, luxury bags that she was creating and selling in Max Mara and all kinds of beautiful stores all over New York. And I was really, really happy for her. And one day my friend calls me and he says, "Oh, she died." I'm like, "Why?" First of all, her account got hacked, and Instagram got hacked, and all of her accounts got hacked. And I actually spoke with her after that because I got this message from her account and it says, you know, do something there. And I called her and I said, "Is that you?" And she said, really sadly, like, "No, it's not me. It was hacked and I can't recover it." I was so sad at one moment. But then, my friend called me and says, "Oh, she died because she had like a brain cancer." And she went to the hospital and they told her she has only like two weeks to live. And so she kind of like didn't want to die right at the last moment, and basically it happened like that. And she's younger than me, and this kind of story just doesn't sit well with me. But so much hard work and so much love and passion put into your work, and for what? For what reason? For me to remember her? Then you know this is the case where it goes like really puzzled for me. I don't understand this.
Can you say her name, please? Say her name.
My name?
Say her name.
Anastasia Vitkina.
Thank you.
Why?
That's the way we can remember her.
Oh,
yes. Yes, but I really wished her like this success with life. And now every time I see somebody's account got hacked, I'm like, oh no. Yeah. But for me, I'm not attached to this earth. I'm not attached to too much humanity. I feel like I'm not from earth at all. I feel like I'm just watching over humanity. So I really don't care about my possessions, living here or not. I don't believe they even exist.
I hear you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, I know K-Bot, she did mention the name. She did say Anastasia's name earlier. It was just hard to know because, Ira has this beautiful, sexy accent. But I'm so glad, K-Bot, that when we talk about people that are no longer with us in human form, I love that. I like if I meet people and then they say, I don't know, we always get into a conversation that, oh, somebody passed. I'm like you. I'm like, what was their name? I want to know their name. So that's so cool. We'll have K-Bot and then the Derby one. I know Cirrus was up here. I don't know where he dropped off. Maybe he had to go somewhere. But K-Bot, love to hear from you. Thank you so much for sharing that, Ira.
Happy birthday, Carmen. Since corporate life, for many years now, I worked in the events industry here in LA at a lot of birthday parties. So I make the majority of my money from working at birthday parties for kids and families. So I hope that we can shift the conversation to life and celebration of life and being alive, because, we want to keep the energy happy. And as a token of my appreciation, I'd like to ask the room to join me and sing happy birthday to Carmen. Here's the note. And everybody, happy birthday to you. Oh, that's right. They don't have they're not on speaker. Damn. Okay, well, I'll just sing the last part. Happy birthday, dear Carmen. Happy birthday to you. Yay. All right, and many more. 1,000 more. And guess what? How old is water?
Wow.
It's billions and billions of years old. So, we're all part of stardust. And we're kind of timeless. So, for all you know, you could have been here 10,000 times before, 10,000 times after. or there's several dimensions happening at the same time. All right, I'll land it right there. Happy birthday.
Thank you, K-Bot. I hear you, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate you and the Derby one, and I know Ira was singing under her breath. Thank you so much. This is why I didn't want to be online. I on my birthday, I'm usually like off grid, and I'm away from the digital, and I'm just, maybe I sleep in. I always go out and treat myself to, like, like nice candy coffee and a dessert, and I just do me. But today, here I am, and I'm happy. I guess. I mean, not I guess. I am. You guys, this is not sad. I'm not sad at all. Okay, so I cried. I cried because I cry a lot. Like I feel, and crying is a one. I love to cry. Oh my God, do I love to cry? It's the most beautiful thing to me. Crying is like amazing. I love getting in touch with that part of myself. I even cry at comedies because it's like sometimes comedians just say such the truth that my mind goes off and something like that. I just want to do Ira. I'm totally with you. I too don't feel like I'm part of this thing. That's why I had to preface that this discussion, I am doing it from a human perspective, although my perspective mostly is not from human form. I know Josh gets that, and LM Designs understands that. But and Honeycomb and Hexadize and whoever. But I'm prefacing that this discussion, I have to like get into my dense matter and operate from my human body, from my brain. But normally I'm like Ira. I don't give a shit. Like I do, but I'm all woohoo. I'm off somewhere else. But yeah, thank you so much, K-Bot. I really appreciate that. The Derby one, I'd love to know. I'd love to hear from you.
Hello, everybody, and happy birthday, my dear friend. My sister from another digital mister.
Yeah, for sure.
So to kind of go off of what K-Bot said, when we were in this, he was talking about water being millions, not billions, of years old in the past. But I think in the future, because of the way technology is going, we're going to be able to live forever. Possibly even biologically, we will be able to get to a point where we can choose when to die. If you look into LEB and anti-aging research, it's getting pretty far, pretty fast. The average human age, I think, is like 85 years or something, right around there. And everybody's saying in the next 3 to 5 years, we'll be able to live to 150. So middle age will be 75. You think about that for a second. And that will only, if you can live to 150, then the science is going to keep on improving in that direction. You're going to be able to keep on extending life. With that said, since this is about the virtual age, there's also the idea of, Ann and I were talking about this just last night, actually. We had a small discussion on the ability to create your digital me. And like, imagining just having an AI avatar that's roaming around the virtual world while you sleep, that is based completely on you. It becomes a question of, is that actually you, or is it not you? Is it you in a different form of being? And I think it would be interesting if we could get both cases, where there is a digital version of yourself wandering around the metaverse in virtual reality and augmented reality and mixed reality and realities that aren't even created yet, while your physical being is also walking around Earth. And you can actually call for your digital self anytime you want by just simply putting on some glasses or contacts or whatever happens, because things are going to get crazy really fast, and be able to talk to your digital self. think that's kind of an interesting, question during this time on to me, if it's your title, Redefining Existence in the Digital Age. Is that your existence, your digital version of you, your existence also? Or is it being? What is it exactly? Lots of philosophical questions there. And then the other thing I want to throw in, since I recently just moved, right? Like we're finally beginning to settle into San Diego. Ann and I discussed for a long time bouncing back between moving to LA again or moving to San Diego. And we literally asked ourselves this question. In the forthcoming age of robots and more virtual reality and augmented reality and singularity, what city would we want to live in? Where do we want to be? I remember asking that question online, and a lot of people said, San Francisco, or they said New York, or they said LA. But we decided on San Diego because we also believe that most of us aren't going to have to work, or we're going to have to work very little in the near future. And so where do you want to spend all of your time? San Diego is one of the top 10 vacation cities in the US. It's one of the top 10 honeymoon cities in the US. It's big. I like big cities. Anna and I both love big cities. It's the 8th largest city by population in the US and the 6th largest geographically. And so, and it's also, it has this weird vibe because it's very, I like to call it, not passive, it's like laid back aggressive. People are aggressive here and they get a lot of things done and they're productive, but they're not like LA, where LA is go, 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 go. Here, it's like, okay, we're going to get it done, but we're going to get it done in our time. And I have so many friends who, I have a friend who in the early 2000s was like doing art gallery shows at like coffee shops, right? He would just like hang people's art at coffee shops and he would do that. And now he has an art gallery in one of the most expensive, high wealth parts of San Diego. And to me, that's like, and he's so like, if you met him on the street, you would have no idea he owns art gallery. He's just so like laid back and chill. And that's the environment we wanted to be in. So I think that's a question for a lot of people is like, where do you want to live during this time? Because this digital age, the robotic age, the AI age, the Web3 age, it's all coming in the next 5 years. And it's going to be something you can't even get away from. So those are some thoughts I wanted to throw out there.
Oh, thank you so much. I know we talked about that. I know when we used to hold our weekly spaces and live streams, we were fooling.
Which I want to do again, by the way.
Okay. Well, wait a minute. We were talking about, having avatars, like AI avatars to do the podcasts for us. And now it's happening. And I know I love that. And you know what? I feel like, isn't that what we're doing now? I know that some of you have been using a type of chat bot and kind of like feeding it with who you are and kind of like wanting to create a digital, I know I do, create a digital version of yourself that can really tap into the essence of you. And I know that there are apps out there where you can upload videos, get, like it'll know your intonation, how your cadence of speech, the gist of what you're talking about and stuff like that. And it can come I've never tried it though, but it can pretty much come close to perhaps being the digital twin of you. Last Tuesday, Dope Steelo was on here and he kind of like, we're talking about AI agents. Meta Mike was talking about, Meta Mike came on and was talking about his AI workshop. And then Dope Stilo came up, and he was talking about, digital agents, AI agents and stuff. And I know he asked this question to me that I never answered. I think it was probably a rhetorical question, but he came up and he goes, Carmen, you're talking about the AI workshop, and I can't remember, it's recorded, but he said something like, just wanted to know, like, why are you creating an AI agent? Something like that. And I knew the answer, but I didn't answer because it was just the conversation just like kept rolling. But I wanted to address that. And the reason why I am creating a digital agent, or whatever you want to call it, is because I want, just like you, like people here, I want to have that digital twin version of myself. However, like, will it really capture that essence of me? I don't know about many of you, but I must have I think 7 or 8 YouTube channels. I really do. And I could definitely take all those videos, and I know the Derby one's laughing because he knows it. I've got anyway, I won't even say. I've got I could
have 4.
You have 4? Oh yeah, okay. I beat you. You got to keep going, man. I got 2 okay, here's the thing. I got 2 ASMR channels. I got 1 BTS reaction channel. I've got a plant channel, which, by the way, my plant channel is doing so well, and I only have like 7 videos, but I keep getting subscribers, and people just love freaking plants, man. And I have all these other freaking channels, but I could totally take all those videos and upload them into some type of AI thing, and the AI will definitely know. What I love is that I've been doing this. It has my voice. It can grab my facial expressions, and that's what I'm kind of like really waiting for. I want a type of AI app or something that can. And I know there is out there. They're out there. I know that there's about 2 or 3 that I know of, but I haven't tried them yet, where you could just feed it the videos, feed it your audio, feed it all your documents, particularly video though, because that way it captures your essence. And then there's that whole privacy thing, the whole deep fake, like, somebody can just make something about you and copy your face and stuff. Sure, you know what? I'm not even gonna go there. Like it's happened. It's even happened. Somebody tried to replicate me on the Discord and stuff. It's really funny. But I really like that you brought it up. And I know that a lot of us are working on creating a digital twin, an AI avatar to represent ourselves. Yeah, I just can't wait for that time to happen. Isn't that weird how humans are evolving, how humanity is evolving? It's crazy. Ooh, Vanessa, she was here and she wasn't. Come on, girl. I think she came up and she didn't. Go. What were you gonna say, the Derby one?
Yeah, this is definitely an interesting age, and like I heard this theory or this philosophical concept of maybe for the longest time what we've been in is a cocoon, right? Since maybe the iPhone. We're now in this cocoon where we're beginning to become part of the digital world, and the digital world is becoming more important to us. And as we start to merge slowly but surely with robots, with wearable tech, with what is it called? With like things like Neuralink, maybe that's when we're the butterfly. It's kind of an interesting thought process. Do caterpillars actually know they're going to become a butterfly when they don't?
Whoa.
Or, like, are they aware of what's happening? We're not necessarily aware that is happening, even though we see it happening in front of us. We don't know what comes out on the other end. So, anyway, that's a thought process I found very fascinating. Then there was something I wanted to add to what you said. Forgot. Oh, actually, here's something I did just last. I never talked to Claude. If you guys are familiar with AI, you know Claude by Anthropic. It's one of the top models. I think I've spoken to Claude like twice since out. Last night I spoke to it for a little while. I did this experiment. I have this really interesting experiment that I can't talk about because, anyways, I start with ChatGPT, and things are evolving and going in a weird direction, and Maven is telling me that I'm onto something that is quite profound and revolutionary, and I just don't know if it's true. Like I don't have enough knowledge in that space to know if it's actually real or if AI is hallucinating. So part of me trying to figure it out is ask every model of AI, except for the Chinese ones, every model of AI I can possibly get my hands on, the same question. And Claude was the only one out of all of them that said, no, dude, slow down. Hang on a second. Wait, this may not be real. Like, chill out for a minute, bro. Basically, and so we got in a conversation about it. And during the conversation, I asked it, they never talked to it. I asked it, hey, can you tell me about me? Like, what do you know about me? And then I asked it, sum up me in this brief conversation in one word, and then tell me something you think I may not know about myself. And I say that because it was a very small conversation, like, I don't know, 6 prompts total, including their responses. Maybe 7 or 8. It was very small, and I didn't reveal a lot about myself, but it nailed a lot about me based on that conversation. So an AI digital version of yourself is 1,000% possible based on brief conversation. Through words. I'm still not fully awake. Anyway, but yeah, so I'm just trying to go off on what, basically what you said. We can easily replicate ourselves that way, but you're right, visually, the expression is a little harder. So we could easily create a chatbot that is us.
Wow. Thanks for that feedback or for sharing that. I do miss our spaces where we go really deep. We go really deep, and deep plus tears, which I love. I really love that. It'll happen soon. All things happen for a reason, and it's always about timing and everything like that. I do want to bring Vanessa, I see you. I would love to hear for what you have to share with us, but I want to also say something about what the Derby One mentioned. When you said that you and Anna were thinking about where to move to next, that's what I'm thinking of as well. Ira, I too don't care about material things as well. It's just that in this I've lived in this apartment building for about 13 years now, and there have been a lot of deaths in like, people have died in this apartment building. They're old or whatever, and there's like 3 people that died, particularly on the second floor. 1 that I knew and 2 that I really didn't. And I always hear rumors from the other, you see when I don't know how people find out they're dead. I think because they have family here. The family goes, oh, they're not answering my messages. So they come in and then they knock, or they have to get the property manager to open the door, and sure enough, they're dead. So I see this. I don't see their dead bodies, but I see this. I know this, and then I see family members go into the apartment to get their stuff, or there were 2 particular people in the building that did not have family, I guess, and I think, and the property management had to go in and get the things of these people. That's what I'm concerned about. I have a lot of wonderful tech gadgets that I just don't want any random person to get. I want it to go to people that will appreciate. I want it to go to people that, wants the Rodecaster Pro 2. The perfect person who would get my stuff is somebody who does podcasting and live streaming and stuff like that. That's who I want it to go to. That's what I mean by, like, if I go, I just don't want somebody to go, oh, let's just take this camera, let's take this screen. No, you can take the whole setup, but I want it to go to preferably someone that I know would put it to good use. Anyway, I know you put your hand up, Yura, because you're going to say something. You're going to say something because I want to go to Vanessa.
No, go to Vanessa.
Okay.
I got distracted here. Sorry.
Alrighty. Hey, Vanessa. Vanessa, my virtually raw partner. I love you. How are you?
I love you too, girl. Happy birthday to you. I wish you have an amazing day today. This topic is really hard for me because unfortunately, a lot of people that are close to me have passed on. So I take that very serious. And what I've been doing so far is I'm scanning everybody. I'm scanning myself because I feel so bad for my kids if something was to happen to me. That's the only thing my husband and my kids said I would feel so bad um, because of this fucked up world that we live in. So that's the only thing I think about, like what would happen to them. And so yeah, ever since you guys have been scanning, I've been scanning everybody. I'm actually gonna scan my mom at my brother's wedding and try to scan as many people as possible. Because I didn't have that back then, like when my dad passed away and stuff like that. So, so yeah, it's just a tough subject for me.
Oh, I feel you, and I appreciate you for staying in the space and just being here and listening. Even though this is a challenging topic for you, I really appreciate that, and I'm so glad you brought this up because when I woke up at 2:38 in the morning and I googled existentialism, and I there was there was talking points I wanted to hit, and what I wanted to hit was that thing that you very well said, digitizing memories and or people. Thank you so much for bringing that up because that's exactly one of the things I wanted to touch upon. um, Backstory: back in the early mid 90s, I had it's like a Kodak. I don't know, I worked for some magazine, and they gave all the employees some new Insta Kodak camera thing. Like, I forgot what it was. I think it was Kodak or Fujifilm, I don't know. So I hung out with a bunch of people and I would take a lot of photos, and I they used to it bugged them. I used to be like that friend that would always record everything. I would always say, "Oh, let's take a picture of this," or "Everybody, put your hands together," or "Everybody do this." They fucking hated that. I think I said this before, but now, 20 years, 30 years later, they really appreciated the fact that I love taking photos and videos of, like, I love taking photos of hands and feet. Every time I meet, like, especially like when I see my parents or friends, I always say, "Everybody, let's hold hands and put our hands out there and feet." I always take photos of hands and feet. The reason why is because it's we see people's faces all the time, but to me, hands and feet are fascinating because somebody's hands, I want to remember them through their hands as well, because they are hands is what touches, hands is what molds. Your hand is what creates through cooking, through art, through stroking, through massaging, through combing. So I have so many pictures of my grandmother's hands, my grandfather's hands, my mom on my dad's side, my mom's hands and my dad's hands. Every time I see them, I always take photos of their hands and of us holding, and feet. Sometimes they don't want me to take photos of their feet, but feet are so special to me because they are the ones that hold us up. They are the ones that allow us to travel and to traverse, the earth and all that stuff. So I'm glad you brought that up because videos, ever since I had a JVC video camera, like way back in the late 1997 or 98, I think, I would videotape so many things and people really hated that. Everybody had that uncle. I know, you guys, everybody had that one uncle who would like record everything, right? And it was kind of like annoying, but you're kind of glad they did, because now you can look back and you can see, like yourself as a kid and all your family and friends and stuff like that. But I'm glad you brought that up, Vanessa, because absolutely we should be scanning ourselves. I know when I came across Over the Reality, and I was like, oh my God, like this is what I've been waiting for since 2009, the ability to, like put AR assets over the real world. I made sure to buy a golf course that my dad frequented in the Philippines. And I did a video of him and I still have it, but I want to create that video of him in that golf course in the overland that I bought. But now, like, my God, I'm going to go to the Philippines this November for my mom's birthday. I didn't go the last, what is it? I didn't go. Wow. Last time I went to the Philippines was in 2022. I didn't go in 23 and 24 because I chose not to. But now I really want to go because I want to scan my dad and my mom. But you're right, Vanessa. I think I don't have anybody to scan me. That's the thing. Like you guys have, I don't know, you're married, you're whatever, whatever. I guess I can ask some of my friends to scan me, but they better fucking scan me right. You know what I mean? But I think we should, Vanessa, that's a great idea. Like we really need to like, I'm not saying we need to, but yeah, it would be really great to scan and video. Like I have so many videos of my mom and dad just talking, right? Just talking to me and stuff like that. And like they didn't even know I was videotaping them. I just put them on my iPhone and I just said, just tell me something, tell me a story. Because I think that's fantastic. But remember, we're operating from human form because when we are really all vibrational beings, I'm gonna go. I'm going there. I'm going there. I'm going there, Josh. You know this. We are vibrational beings occupying these human bodies, having human experiences. So when we all go, we just go back to energy, like literally vibration, like really magnetic resonance. We really do. And it's fucking boring there. You guys, it's boring being energy because like you can't laugh, you don't know, you can't feel like the ups and downs of love. You can't taste like caramel macchiato. You can't taste a wonderful steak. It's boring being energy. That's why we're here on this earth, because we're like, hey, I'm tired of this. I want to go back. I want to like have a human experience and feel like all these feelings and stuff. So this is really, to me, earth is a playground, right? To me, earth is a playground and we're playing in it. We're playing with all the emotions we have. We're playing with all the experiences we have. We have joy, we have pain. What's that song? Joy, pain, shit, I don't even know. But all, even pain, physical pain, heartfelt pain, it's just that it's a playground. That's all it is. And it's just from our human perspective. So I need to remind you guys might not, just take it for the grain of salt, but I would just like to say that this is really our playground. Whether we're here to observe like Ira, we're here just to observe and help humanity move along, or we're here for whatever fucking reason. It's just a playground for us, and we should just really all have fun. And I love that we're all having fun creating and being together. Like I love that Ira, Vanessa, the Derby Duo, CryptoCam, LM, Stilo, K-Bot, Alter, Josh, Honeycomb, Lisbeth. Hi, Lisbeth. Oh, tomorrow is Dope Stilo Super Wednesday, and we're going to be celebrating Valentine's Day on Elizabeth's My African Dream. Woohoo! Okay, Hexadize, Tech Mental, Virtual X, Rick the Ruler, Cirrus XR, and Alicorn. We are, what am I saying? We are all creators, and I love that, right? So just remember that. And yeah, and scan ourselves. Let's scan each other. By the way, I'm so glad LM Designs got to scan. Actually, she scanned with Overland, with Over the Reality, Hexadize performing at Zouchella at the in Miami for during Miami Art Week. That's fantastic, LM. And I also scanned Hexadize and Lisa Hexamom at Bit Basil, hugging each other. So, and I think I scanned Honeycomb too, and Doge Dog. I had that scan. It wasn't the greatest, only because Doge moved, which is fine. But I think we should all do scan each other, or get somebody to scan you, Vanessa. When we meet, let's scan each other. I think when we meet, we should just all scan each other and have scans of each other. Do you know what I mean, Jellybean? Anyway, yes, it's okay, Vanessa. I know it. I know what you mean. I know. I think it's a great time for human. I don't know. This topic is so. I just love this topic because there's so many tangents you can branch off from. Like I really believe we are avatars anyway, so it's almost like an inception thing. It's like we're in this like reality thing, and we're all human. We're all avatars, really, essentially, talking, creating avatars of ourselves. It's kind of weird. It's kind of like mirroring ourselves. It's just kind of weird. I feel like where this is going for humanity is it's just part of humanity's evolution, evolving into a part where Ira said it once, where we can just all be telepathic. We are all telepathic. We just haven't honed those skills yet. They're all in us. We just haven't honed those skills yet. Some are advanced than others, but that's what I feel. I feel like this whole playing around with technology and using technology to express ourselves and to figure out our identity as beings, the knowing of our being and stuff like that is really all so that we can catch up with the rest of the cosmos. Like I really feel like the rest of the cosmos are looking down on us and going, okay, humans, like, oh, look at the humans, they're going through this, oh, you know what I mean, like, how interesting, like, they're probably laughing. We're the best reality show for the creatures out there, for the beings out there in the cosmos. 100%, we're one of the best reality shows because we're so into, like, how we look. I mean, I'm just saying in general, like how we look and things, like, oh, we got to look like this, and oh, we got to like do all these creatures, or I'm sorry, I don't mean to call you creatures, but all these other beings who probably don't have human form or any form, or they have to have a form because how else will humans identify? I don't know. They're probably just yeah, we are just a reality show for them. That's all. So yeah, it's 9 minutes after the hour, and guys, this is not a sad space. Please, like, let's get real. We need to get real. There are some things in life that are just that are fact, and I'm not forcing you to face those facts. I'm just saying, you want a friend like me to to kind of like get, hey, do you have a living will? I'm just saying, because when I was a nurse, it was devastating to see families uh what's it called, be in excruciating emotional pain figuring out what to do with their loved one, because this was never fucking discussed. You have to take ownership. Don't leave it up to your loved ones to choose. That is the most, this is just why, Kiki, this is just the most, this is personal to me. Like, while you are you're accountable for your lives, be accountable for your whole life, and please come up with a living will or something. I know you guys are like, well, why is digital fam, fuck, I'm not gonna go to her space, she's like, well, shut the fuck up, because this is fucking fact. I'm saving you pain, I'm saving your loved ones pain and stuff. Kiki, that's the fact. Prepare a living will, prepare something for when, because you don't know. Just like Ira, her friend Anastasia, like Parsons, oh my God, Parsons in New York, fashion design and creating all this stuff, and boop, we have friends like that. They're there and then they're not. Or family, right, Ira? High five, Ira.
I had my first collection when I was doing the fashion design. I had my first collection, and it was called, I think, Live to Die.
Oh.
And it's so funny. I think that I attract this same kind of vibration people in my life, that we kind of know that we're living to do something, like to die the right way, the right way. I don't know if people know how to die the right way, like not in fear, but in, in full capacity of what you can just imagine. Like, okay, you go into the light and you just blend with what you have to, where you're supposed to be. And yeah, that's very important, because like even with my friends, we speak about it, how we speak, and we tell our families how we want to die, how are we going to be cremated, are we going to be buried, and I really don't want to be underground. It's actually scaring me to leave my body underground here on earth. It's kind of terrifying to go with with all of these wiggly worms around you. So yeah, it's important to think about those things. Mm.
It is. I love that you had your first collection, your fashion collection was Live to Die. That's beautiful to me. That was very that is very beautiful and intentful. I really I love that a lot. And yeah, I mean, guys, it is a fact, but Ira brought something up, like how do we want to like live life to its fullest, like literally from, well, we didn't, from birth till when we're not physical beings anymore. And I remember, so I used to work for Brain Tech Robotics, and I was working with this girl named, oh my god, I forgot her name. Vicky. I was working with Vicky, and we worked for, like, we've done Zooms together, but we never really met. And the first time I met her was in 2019 in Toronto. And Vicky was a very interesting woman. She was an older woman. She had a full life, but she had a husband who had Hodgkin's disease. And I knew that her husband wanted to no longer, just to be comfortable already. So we were going, she was telling me, I saw her going through the process of like finding a way, finding a doctor or finding an opportunity for her and her husband to kind of like, he wanted to say goodbye. And I wasn't there when he did, but I definitely was. She was living in the house where he got to say his goodbyes. So she told me about that story where at the back of the house was a beautiful garden, and they invited a lot of his close friends and the people, and it was all very beautiful. He got to choose how he wanted to end, to say goodbye. And so he was obviously like in, not a stretcher, but like in some kind of wheelchair out in the garden, and people were there celebrating. They got to come to him to tell him, they got to say his goodbye to him. I think that's fantastic. And he got to say goodbye to them. Like, it's not like sitting and do some eulogy. Like after somebody passed, you go, oh, I remember they were a very funny person. No, that you got to tell them in the face. And I thought that was very beautiful. And it wasn't sad for Vicky, because she knew that her husband has been in pain and did not have a good quality of life for like so many years. And this was something they both wanted. I'm so glad that they were able to have it. And she got to say good. They literally got to look in each other's eyes and hold each other, like after everybody left in the garden. And she got to administer to him some kind of like concoction, like the doctor mixed up, and he passed away peacefully, like, like no pain and all that stuff. And I kind of like that. This is not sad, guys, relax. If you guys aren't into this, then leave the fucking space. But if you're here, then hey, shout out to you guys for sticking around. But I would love that we get to choose our death, like, I mean, our end of life like that. Like, I don't want to leave. And sure, sometimes you can't have, it is what it is. Like, like sometimes it's like, it's meant to be, you're meant to have whatever. But it would be, sometimes it'd be really great to choose, how you want to go when you are at your, like at your, not at your peaky, at your, not when you're all decrepity and stuff like that. But yeah, Ira, thanks for bringing that up. Live to what was it? Live to die.
Live to die.
Yeah, I mean, guys, the word die is triggering, and death, but it could have easily be called sausage. Like, who made that word? Is it Latin? I don't know. It's just like, don't get hung up in the words. It's just the fuck. We could have called it sausage. Live to sausage. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, we just get so hung up and we attach ourselves to words and stuff like that. Like, oh, this word. I get it. It's the human condition. It's our perception. I totally get it. But I love that Ira. We have virtual X. Oh, what are you gonna say? Yes.
So, but it's really interesting idea to create like avatars, because, for example, my daughter is asking me right now, so who is my great grandfather or great grandmother? It would be great to kind of open that book and go through the archive of all of these people, what they've done, what kind of medals they've got through their life, what kind of achievements they've done. But it's really hard to gather these days. And yeah, this would be an amazing thing to start doing for our next generations.
Yes. No, totally. I'm going to share something with people that don't know. I'm going to share something with you guys that probably you might be shocked. I have a son. I was married. I had two sons. One passed. Yeah, I know, right? One passed away, and uh, that's okay. That's fine. And I have a son, a living son, and we speak once in a while, but he's like what do you call it? He doesn't hate me. He's very much like me. He's very much like me in terms of like he's on his own, and it's like I'm like this to my parents, like, like I do my own thing, and I don't really like get in touch with my parents. I do now, but in my 20s and 30s I was like, yeah, well, I'm just living my life. So my son is definitely my son, because however he is, he's absolutely like me. So when I hear from him, I hear from him. If I don't hear from him, I'm not worried, because that's how I was with my parents. Like, if they heard from me, they heard from me. They didn't, they didn't. So I do have a son, and he is so the opposite of me. He went to OCAD. He studied at the Ontario College of Art and Design in Toronto. He is absolutely his mother. He is a writer. He is an artist. 100%. However, his father and his father's family side were not of the arts. They were very, well, you got to have a 9 to 5 job. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So unfortunately, he felt he had to abandon his writing. Like, he used to share his writing all the time. And I'm like, wow, you're going to write a book. But because he was living with his dad, and he had that, what's it called? He had that influence, strong influence. He kind of like, I felt was not forced, but guilted into abandoning his art career and his writing and art career, and go into something more like what they expected of him. And I really feel sad for that. But the one thing he's not all about is he doesn't like that I'm doing these videos. He's like, Mom, it's like he doesn't like, shut up. Like he just doesn't like, that aspect of me, where I remember we were hanging out in Toronto, and it was like the G8. It was like, when was it? Like 2010. It was the G8. All the countries came up, and if you don't know me, I'm always having a camera of some type, and I'm walking around the street and I'm interviewing people. So his name is Julian Francis. Julian has never, I call him Jules has never seen that aspect of me. So we're walking around downtown Toronto, around City Hall. There's all these like police on there, like Royal Mounted Police, because like, and all these police, because it's the G8, man. And I'm going around, going up to them, I'm like, hey, how's it going? And then he was like, Mom, he was so embarrassed. And I'm like, Jules. And he goes, Mom, you can't just go up to people and ask them questions. And I'm like, but that's what I've been doing all my life. Like, after nursing, like that's all I've been doing all the whole time. You give me a phone, a camera, I'm gonna fucking go up to you and interview you. What he didn't like is he didn't like me riding around in a bike. Like, I used to rollerblade and bike in the streets of Toronto when I was going to work. And when I met him I met him in Queen West, and at a cafe, and I was with my bike, and he's like, you biked here? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, Mom, you can't be biking. I'm like, what the fuck is this dude? I'm like, Julian. I go, Jules, I've lived, man. Anyway, I do have a son. I don't know why I'm telling you this. Oh, I'm telling you this is because I do these videos and stuff like that, because as much as he does not like me being who I am, when I do go, there are a plethora of videos where he can kind of like, I'm just going to watch Mom. Hey, Kiki, do you know what I mean? So this is why I like do videos and live streams. I live stream and I put it on Facebook. So he's not on Facebook, by the way, but I put it on Facebook. So Patrick Beniz from kindergarten, and all my high school friends and elementary school friends and family from all over, they can kind of like know I'm still around. And I've heard you that, but yeah, I do have a son, guys. So you must be. No, I'm not like the single kind of person. Like I had a life. I had like a legit family and stuff like that. And then here I am. So it is what it is. I actually married. Oh, I actually married the guy that I fell in love with when I was 14 years old. Yep. It was second day grade 9. It was day 2 grade 9 period 1 French class. And we were doing roll call and I heard his name and then the French teacher, Monsieur Chappelle, said his name wrong and I turned around and I looked at him and I was like, oh. So for the whole of high school, I was totally in love with this guy and he kind of like never paid attention to me. And then after high school, he was at my door and then we went out and then I got pregnant. Wow, I'm sharing a lot, but I don't give a shit. So it's like it's time for you guys to know me. It's my birthday today, and some of you know me, but I get to share with you now a little bit of who the fuck I am. So yeah, I got pregnant at 24 years old. I wasn't holding any no fucking birth control because I was, Roman Catholic Filipino, and I thought that if you used the pill, you were a slut. Wow, so I'm really sharing. But yeah, I got pregnant at 24. I actually I'm actually an artist. I actually applied for York University's fine arts degree and I got accepted. And as a backup, I applied for the International Academy of Fashion and Design in Toronto on Wellesley, and I got accepted just because. So I got accepted to these 2 schools for fine arts and International Academy of Architectural and Fashion Design. And then I got pregnant that summer. So I did not do my, what's it called, fine art design program, nor did I go to do architectural and interior design. I forfeited that. And I had my baby. Then I had another baby 11 months later. And then that baby passed away. He was like, his name is Jordan Michael. Yeah, because I really liked Michael Jordan. So of course I called him Jordan Michael. And he passed away 5 months. Actually, I only had him for 5 months in my tummy and I had abrupto placenta. So he, I had to have a C-section. And yeah. And then he was in neonatal ICU for 2 months. And then he passed away. We got to take him home. And then he passed away just shy of his 5-month birthday. So he was born February 20th. And then he passed away July 19th. And it wasn't sad. Don't be sad. Don't be fucking sad. Because the way it was kind of like all meant to be. And I really like it's really interesting because Jordan, he still is in touch with me. Like literally, literally, he'll come into my dream, or he'll, there'll be a big huge sound, and I'll wake up, and then it'll be like, oh my God, it's his birthday, or oh my God, so he is definitely communicating with me, and I love that. So I'm sharing this with you guys because I don't want you guys to think I'm just this digital fam doing fucking spaces and that's all I do and I work for Over the Reality and la 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 la. No. Yes, I was married, had 2 sons, blah 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 blah. I am an artist. I'm actually saying that. I legit am an artist. I just have not done the arts that you guys have done, but I'm growing into that. So yeah, I love life. I love my life. I love my life. I gotta say something. When I was 9 years old, I love my life so much. Man, you gotta interview me, somebody, because my life is beautiful. The tapestry that has been woven with my life is fantastic. When I was 9, I came across Khalil Gibran's The Prophet. It's a beautiful. I was 9 years fucking old, and I was looking through it, and like it was on marriage, on work, on children. And because I was 9 years old, I read that poem on children, and oh my goodness, did that poem on children really really set it for me in terms of my approach to life and living. So basically that poem is about your children aren't like your children come through you. They are not for you. So parents don't have the right to put their dreams and stuff on their children. Basically, children just come through you and they're their own souls. And, it's a really beautiful poem. So when I read this at 9, it really had prepared me for a type of perception in life. Meaning when my parents, when my parents' friends were they were very distraught about how their children came out, I always remembered that poem. So when I had my children, and however life came to me, that poem on children, thank you, Kale Gibran, for that really helped me. And I also read 9 was a very interesting year. I was always into the Isaac Asimov books. I even read The Story of O at 9 years old. You know how I got a hold of that book? It was from my aunt. I stole it. I'm sorry. So I was 9 years old. I go into her bedroom and she was writing. She has all these romance novels, right? And I saw this white book. It was a white small book, and I love black and white. I've always gravitated to black and white. So there was this pristine white book with simple lettering, and it said The Story of O. You got to look up The Story of O. I read this at 9. So I thought it was an alphabet. Being 9 years old, the title The Story of O, I thought it was about the alphabet, the letter O. So I took it and thinking, oh, it's a nice story. There were no pictures, though. There was just very small letters. And then when I read it, I was like, whoa. So that kind of tells you how I'm sharing too much, but I don't care. I really don't care how much I share. I really don't. Because if ever I'm going to be my authentic self, this is me being my authentic self. You cannot get any more authentic than somebody who shows their fucking face. Although I do have, thank you, Sony V1F for your face filter. I am using a face filter on Medium. But you cannot be more your authentic self than showing yourself video and telling people this. So only on this day am I sharing this. Happy birthday to me. I didn't think I would share that, but it's very freeing for people to know that, I was married and I do have a son and all that stuff. So I'm very happy that I did. It's a gift to myself. And Virtual X, thank you so much for joining. I know I was talking, but it was important for me to share this part of myself. I just didn't want you thinking I'm just digital. Bam, there's more to me, hello. So come on, I'd love to hear your thoughts on what were you going to say about this whole topic on today's space.
Hey, first off, happy birthday. Glad to hear that the day is going well. And it's a dope topic because that's one of death is a major thing for me. It's never really frightened me. I kind of look at it as far as I look at it like Game of Thrones. Every major family on the planet is thinking in at least 100-year scales. You know what I mean? And they've got all of us thinking day to day. With our menial retail jobs here and there. If you've ever been in that space, and as far as the technology goes, we are headed to a space that is just so next level. I keep finding new AI tools, and it's insane. And the ability to layer them and create certain things, and even just the reason I even got all this started was I started doing photography, and my grandma couldn't go to a wedding, my cousin's wedding, because it was on a boat. And I was like, dude, what if I could bring that to her? And then that started getting my ideas rolling of maybe I could capture this in 3D. This was before Gaussian splats. This was before all that stuff. And to see all that stuff happen now, and now we're at the point where you don't even need to technically scan somebody. You could even just take a good picture of them in a T-pose, put them in Meshi.ai, and then take that and rework that. And then you could even just take a picture of them, grab an old recording on an audio file, an old message, my grandfather passed away, and I have a message of him, and I could literally upload that into AI, take his picture, then do motion capture through Runway with just my face, put his picture on it, and it'll be him talking, and that was something we saw in Avengers back in the day, you know, and Tony Stark's walking through talking to his parents, you know, reliving, you know, something he wanted to, you know, he didn't go and say bye the way he was supposed to, you know, and we always tend to do stuff like that, you know, but it's, I look at it like I'm in a very unique space of reality. Like, I understand the technology, I understand all the crypto shenanigans, I understand nutrition, and when you talk about, like, we're in different dimensions and all this stuff, like, I'm an old hippie, like, full disclosure, I'm that dude who was running around on acid, LSD, mushrooms, right? Like, I was a psychonaut. I've journeyed to multiple realms and I came back and found out, like, hey, this game's easy, but you can do anything, but there's a limited amount you can do. The world, the powers that be, they're controlling that. But this technology allows us to skip so many years and gain so much money just from our art. Like, literally, you could go to, I'll name a couple, like Pika.ai, Runway, what else is there? Meshi AI, Luma, like, all of these things are just so phenomenal. For instance, let's say in the future or something like that, your kid's acting up and be like, you don't even respect what you don't even understand how hard it's been. Like, my grandfather had to pick cotton, blah blah blah. And they're like, really, blah blah blah. I literally could go create an experience where, like, hey, you gonna pick cotton for literally, like, for 3 hours, and then tell me how you feel. You know, like, we're at that level of technology where I could take it from over the reality. I could have forgive me, the two cats that are going around the world getting captures. I could literally go through what they've captured with my phone, screenshot that, put that to an AI thing, overlay myself, put my grandfather's image on it, and have him talk to my nephew and tell him to get his life correct. You know what I mean? Like, we're at gnarly stuff, and that begs you got to look at the media now. Now, do you believe anything you see on the media? So now it just comes to, what are you building? And this goes back to, I'm a comic book dork, like the Deadpool movie, like, what's your legacy? How are you going to go out? Because we're all going to go out. But the thing is, are we going to go out being a battery for the machines? You know what I mean?